All right, hello and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a word we all think we know, faith. But, as we're about to see, this idea holds some really surprising depth that goes way beyond the usual places we hear about it. So let me just start by asking you this. What if faith is not what you think it is? What if it's bigger, more fundamental, and woven into the very fabric of our daily lives, whether we consider ourselves religious or not? Okay, so let's dive right in. A really common mistake, as our sources point out, is to lock the idea of faith inside buildings like churches, synagogues, or mosques. And while those are absolutely places where faith is expressed, that view is just, well, it's way too narrow. It misses a huge part of what it means to be human. To really get what's going on here, we need a better working definition. And it all starts with a simple but incredibly powerful distinction between two different ways we use the word faith. So here it is, the crucial distinction, faith that versus faith in. Now, faith that is all about the leaf. It's saying you think a fact is true, like I have faith that the sun will rise tomorrow. But faith in, now that's about trust and loyalty. It's a relationship, a deep reliance on something or someone. Seriously, understanding this one difference is the key that unlocks everything else we're going to talk about. Now, let's see how this whole framework actually applies in the real world. We'll start on some familiar ground, the world of religious faiths. We're going to explore the idea across a few different traditions, but we'll be using our new lens to see it all in a fresh light. Because right off the bat, you have to understand that faith is absolutely not a monolith. The way it's understood, the way it's felt, and the way it's practiced varies enormously from one religion to the next. It's an incredibly rich and diverse landscape. And you can see right here just how different those expressions can be. Look at this. In Buddhism, faith is mostly that faith in we talked about, a deep trust in the Buddha, his teachings, and the community. For Islam, it's about submission to God's will. In Christianity, it's often framed as a dynamic, personal relationship. And in Judaism, the concept's a little less central, with a focus on emunah, a Hebrew word that's really about faithfulness and a kind of steadfast trust. Let's just zoom in on one of these for a second. In Christianity, for example, faith isn't just something you agree with in your head. That's the faith that part. It's described as this dynamic experience that involves your entire person, your mind, your will, and your emotions. It's an active, all-in kind of relationship. And this leads to another really crucial point. Even a faith that feels deeply personal is almost never a solo act. As this quote says, faith is not solitary. It nearly always leans on shared knowledge and relationships. It's something that's strengthened and lived out with other people, inside a community. Okay, so we've looked at the internal experience of faith. Now let's kind of pivot and look at faith in action, how these deep internal commitments actually go out and shape the external world of society, our ethics, and believe it or not, even our economics. And the impacts can be really profound. The research shows that faith can be a powerful force for social good. It fosters ethics, both personal and social. It encourages people to stand up against things like corruption. It supports mutual respect and can act as a kind of social glue, binding communities together with hope and a shared commitment. But its influence goes even further into areas you might not expect at all. The source material points to historical examples that show a direct link between religious faith and the very foundations of our modern economic systems. Check this out. The moral underpinnings of the market economy can actually be traced back to medieval cities and, pretty famously, to the influence of Calvinist ethics on things like work and investment. It just goes to show you how deeply intertwined our systems of belief and our systems of commerce can be. So all of this brings us to our final and maybe the most fascinating idea, the trust we live by. Now we're going to move beyond organized religion completely and see how we can recognize faith in our everyday, secular lives. And this is the big leap. This is where the idea really expands. The sources suggest that faith, in this broader sense, is a fundamental, even necessary human condition for everyone, regardless of what they believe about God. To really get this, let's bring back our framework from the beginning. Remember faith in? That idea of fidelity and trust? Well, this is where it becomes universal. Just think about it. We exercise this kind of faith in all day, every single day, without even realizing it. It's the trust between a parent and their child. It's the confidence you have in your friends, the reliance you place on a business partner. It's even the basic trust between citizens and the state, or that unspoken faith you have in a pilot to safely fly the plane you're sitting. What this really is a trusting attitude toward life itself. You don't need a belief in God to have it. It's just a fundamental way we navigate the world and our relationships with everyone in it. This final quote really just nails it. Faith is both something widely distributed among people and something substantially different from simple opinion or belief. In other words, it's not just for religious people, and it is so much deeper than just a simple opinion. Which leaves us with a final question, a question for you, really. If you strip away the whole context of religion, what do you have faith in? What are the bedrock trusts and reliances that give your own life structure? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.